Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into a very specific moment in time, the crypto market of March 2026. We're going to break down a really focused strategy for navigating what our source material is calling a pretty unique phase for the top digital assets out there. Okay, so first things first, let's get the lay of the land. The big picture right now is that the market isn't in some crazy bull run, but it's not in a free fall either. The source calls it a period of consolidation. And what that really means is that prices are kind of moving sideways. Bitcoin's hold on the market is strong, and any gains in the other coins, the altcoins, are a lot harder to come by. It's like the market is taking a breath before its next big move. And this quote right here, this is everything. This is the core idea from our source material. This is a positioning phase, not a hype cycle. Just let that sink in. This one line completely changes how you should be thinking. It's telling us that the smart money isn't chasing those crazy headline-grabbing pumps. No, it's about methodically and quietly building a strong position for whatever comes next. So that, of course, brings us to the million-dollar question, right? If now is the time to get positioned, what in the world does that actually look like? How are you supposed to allocate your capital when the market is just treading water? Well, the rest of this explainer is going to walk you through the exact blueprint our source lays out to answer that very question. All right, let's get into the blueprint itself. This isn't about throwing darts at a board and picking coins. Nope. This is a structured, strategic way to build a portfolio. And it's designed specifically for this kind of consolidating market. And here it is laid out beautifully. It's a simple three-tiered model. The foundation, the biggest chunk at 55%, is in your core assets. Then you have a layer on top of that, 25%, dedicated to growth assets. And finally, you carve out a calculated 20% for your high-risk bets. You can see how this is all about building stability while still giving yourself a real shot at that potential upside. So let's dig into that foundational 80% of the portfolio first, the core and the growth assets combined. We're going to look at the specific coins our source says should be the real workhorses of your entire strategy. So at the absolute heart of it all, you have the two heavyweights. First up is Bitcoin, which the source calls the backbone. It's got that strong institutional demand. It's perfect for a long-term hold. Think of it as the digital gold in your portfolio. And right alongside it is Ethereum, the ecosystem. It's still the undisputed king of smart contract platforms, but the source does note its price is probably going to move a bit slower. Together, these two make up that solid 55% core. Okay, now for that next layer, the growth assets. And here we have two very different players. You've got Solana, which is framed as the high-speed option. This is a blockchain that can move fast and aggressively with some serious growth potential. Then on the other side, you have BNB, positioned as the utility-driven asset. Because it's backed by the massive Binance ecosystem, it's seen as a more stable, function-first kind of play. And these two make up that 25% growth slice. All right, time to talk about that last 20% slice of the pie. This is where things get a lot more interesting and a lot more speculative. Our source dedicates this part of the portfolio to assets that definitely carry more risk, but if their stories play out, could also deliver some absolutely huge rewards. And this table just perfectly breaks down the different kinds of bets you can make in that high-risk category. Each one has its own unique story, right? You've got XRP, which is all about cross-border payments. There's Chainlink or Link, the essential oracle that connects blockchains to real-world data. AVAX is gunning for enterprise adoption. You have Cardano, the slow and steady, research-first platform. And then you have some of the newer kids on the block. Sui, an up-and-coming high-performance chain, and Tau, which is riding that really powerful AI plus crypto wave. So, we've looked at the market, we've looked at the allocation strategy, we've looked at all the specific assets, so let's tie it all together. What is the one big, crucial message you should take away from this whole analysis of the March 2026 crypto market? It all comes down to this. Focus on accumulation, not chasing. In a market that's just consolidating, the winning strategy, according to our source, is patience. It's about slowly and methodically building up your positions in assets that have strong, clear stories, instead of getting distracted by whatever shiny new thing is pumping this week. It really is a marathon, not a sprint. And that leaves us with one final, pretty powerful question to think about. This whole breakdown has been about a strategy for a positioning phase. So as you take all this in, the real question you have to ask yourself is, what will you be positioned for? Thanks for tuning in.